Hello, everyone. Thank you for your patience. We got this thing started, and welcome to another edition of Linkarati Live. And we are broadcasting live from Boise, Idaho, world headquarters of Page One Power. We're happy that you could be with us today, and let's get the ball rolling. That's me. I'm your host, Mike Bryant, and just want to say happy to be here with some of our in-house folks. Here next to me I have Andrew Dennis.
Hey everybody.
And across the pond, no, I don't want to say that. Over there in Pullman, Washington, we've got Cory Colins.
Hey Mike, how you doing?
Good. Thank you for joining us, Cory.
My pleasure.
We appreciate you're holding on the line there and for us to get this thing rolling. And a special guest today, Nash. Ricci is joining us from Page One Power. He is a project manager. He makes things happen when it comes to link building. And that's what we're going to talk about today, is all things link building and how that relates to everyone's online marketing efforts. And before we get started, I want to extend an invitation to participate in the ongoing conversation on Twitter. Just use the hashtag Linkarati Live or P1P webinar, or both if you're feeling energetic and like an overachiever. We've got Kate upstairs. She's going to be manning the Page One Power handle, but we'd love for you to chime in and share some thoughts and opinions and follow along. But most importantly, Linkarati Live is all about your questions answered live, and we want to know what you're working on, what your challenges are. So in your control panel there on GoToWebinar, you'll see the questions tab. Just expand that out and submit your questions now or throughout the presentation, and we will be answering those as we move along. Before we get started, we also wanted to just find out a little bit more about what you guys are up to. So if you can answer this quick question, and that is, what is your involvement in SEO at this current time? Maybe you're working by yourself in-house. Maybe you work as part of a larger team. Maybe you do independent work for other companies. But just answer the question as quick as you can so we can get an idea of where you're coming from. And, that gives us some nice insight to our audience and helps us get to know you a little bit better. Give that just a few more seconds, and then we will begin with our first question. And of course, if you aren't able to get your question answered live during this broadcast, we will have members of our team reach out to you directly, as well as a copy of this will be recorded. We'll have that up tomorrow on our YouTube channel, or you can just go to our resource library at pageonepower.com and view a copy of the recording there. So we'll close that poll and move along. So, gentlemen, take it away. This is question one.
All right, guys. So it looks like question one here we got, what online marketing activities can help build links? And I think I'll start with you, Nash, if you want to jump on that one.
Sure. Well, I didn't get a chance to pop in and say hey earlier, so hey, everybody, thanks for listening. This is a good question, and one that, as someone who sort of oversees link building campaigns over here at Page One Power, we have to think about all the time. And the answer really is that pretty much any online marketing initiative or activity that you're engaged in can probably be leveraged in some way to build links. We work often with departments all over our clients' companies, from the PR teams to the content people to the actual engineers building the site. But really each and every online marketing activity that you engage in with the right outreach and the right approach can be sort of put to use to help you start that process of gaining good organic backlinks.
Excellent. Yeah, and specifically, I'll jump in here. Content marketing is definitely one of the biggest ones. As it's an old cliche by now, but content is king, is often said, and it's much easier to build links to excellent content because that's the type of stuff that people actually want to link to. Is there anything else you'd like to add, Cory?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that people often overlook or think about links in kind of a mystical or arcane fashion, but the reality is link building, it's becoming more and more marketing as the days go by and Google gets better, and we're trying to build real links on real sites and create real connections and the kind of links that Google wants to count. And so it's really easy to think about link building as kind of this SEO, just optimizing, but really when you go out, you need something to promote, you need a reason for someone to link back to you, right? And the more you can integrate with other marketing, the real question is, why would someone link to you? And often if you are doing other marketing, it's a perfect avenue to leverage that visibility, that exposure for links. And so we often say at Linkarati that link building is about going out and optimizing opportunity and building the links you deserve. So the great thing about integrating with other online marketing is that you're already going out and building rapport with an audience in some way, earning visibility, building exposure, really just trying to be heard and market yourself. And so often those different marketing activities will be naturally earning you link opportunities, but if you're not being strategic and intelligent about going out and specifically looking for links, those opportunities will often be wasted. And that's what we love to do at Page One Power, is go out and look at how you should be earning links but are missing the boat on that. And so oftentimes other marketing opportunities lead to links, but if you don't specifically pursue those links, you're not going to get them. And that's really, so any online marketing activity, if viewed through the right lens and thought about intelligently, strategically, and with a little old-fashioned experience, you can often leverage pretty much any online marketing activity to help build links.
And I was going to jump in real quick. A specific example would be with PR. Like you may have a great PR campaign going that's getting you a lot of mentions around the web and a lot of exposure, but maybe not necessarily links. And if you're out there with that link-first mindset, you can convert a lot of those mentions into links, which just adds search value to you already have brand exposure.
Yeah, I'd agree. And a big thing that I see often with clients coming in is that we'll have the SEO department come in, and it seems like we're still maybe a year or two away from SEO departments really being classified as part of the marketing department rather than the sort of more technical side department. And the reality is, in today's internet marketing game, you need to have your toes, I guess, in both pools in that sense, and really have a voice in sort of the general online marketing initiatives that your organization might be doing, as well as being well-versed in the technical aspects of an SEO's job. But they really do work hand in hand, and one without the other can turn into a big struggle to convert links if you're not having those proper conversations throughout all the channels in your organization.
Absolutely, yeah. Don't silo your marketing, or you're going to leave opportunities on the table.
Absolutely.
Anything else you want to add to that one, Cory, or should we move on to question 2?
I'd say just a little bit more. So I do content marketing here for Page One Power, and just within my own experience, I've done link building. I've been in Nash's position before, and then I moved over into content marketing. And content marketing is such a powerful way to build links, but the thing about content marketing is that you've got a million different things that you're involved with and worried about and concerned with, creating important, sharing the right messages, creating important content, promoting it to the right audience. But often, because I have all these other tasks, if I didn't have the link building background that I did, I even with my link building background and SEO background, I still know that there's opportunities that I could be pursuing if I was more link focused. And so content marketing is a wonderful way to build links, but if you're going out and just using content marketing and thinking this will build me the links I need, I mean, link building, it's such a strategic, you need to be laser focused on the links or else you'll be losing opportunity. And I can speak to that from my own personal experience within content marketing, that there are a lot of marketing opportunities that will lead to links, but with the link focus, you will be getting all the links.
All right. I think that pretty much covers question 1.
Right.
Moving on to question 2 here. What online marketing campaigns can be aided by links? So it's kind of the reversal of question 1. Want to jump in first here again, Nash?
Sure. So, I mean, plenty of online marketing campaigns can be aided by links. Often, though, the ones that I think are best aided by links are those marketing campaigns that have the sort of more long-term, long-view focus, things that you're trying to build up with your audience over the course of the next 6 months, the course of the next year, that brand awareness or brand voice, things like that can often be really fantastic targets for link building campaigns. And I think that Cory touched on it really well just a minute ago, in that, you know, that content marketing that backs up your brand voice, backs up the unique value proposition that you're putting out there, and also helps people really center in on what's important about your brand. Things like that are fantastic opportunities for links, as long as you go about it in a strategic manner by offering value rather than pure advertisement. We often do much better with valuable informational content rather than sort of mid to low marketing funnel content. But yeah, link building is best when you're looking at that long-term view and thinking about where you'd like to take your site, where you'd like to take your brand in the next 6 months or the next year.
Absolutely. Want to add anything to that, Cory?
Sure. I think the most obvious answer to, and I think Nash touched on this a bit, but anything that you're doing long term and that will benefit from search traffic is going to be benefited by links, because links improve search visibility, right? We all know that Google has links pretty heavily factored into their algorithm, and in fact, Moz just released a study, about a month ago now, showing that even though John Mueller had stated that you can rank without links, after they did this study, they showed that if you're in any kind of search that isn't completely long tail, if you're in any search that has any kind of competition, you're going to need links. And so if you're doing any kind of marketing that can benefit from exposure in search, or even just links are great beyond search too, because you go out and you promote what you're doing, your site, your page, your linkable assets to another webmaster within your audience, within your niche, who has the same audience overlap. And so that will get you exposure as well. So really any online marketing campaign that you want extra visibility to can be aided by links, but I would echo what Nash said in that you definitely want to take the long view approach when building links, because it just doesn't happen overnight.
Absolutely, Cory. And I would just add one specific strategy that comes to mind for me is PPC, because you're paying to get in those results there, but there's going to be some holes in your campaign, maybe some keywords you don't want to pay that high bid for, that you can kind of fill that hole with organic search. And if search visibility is at all important to your business, you could never show up enough in those results. So I think those two can really work well together.
Yeah, I would. One that I would like to add that I think people don't often think of in terms of how could link building help is actually email marketing. If you're trying to build a list, you need constant exposure to new audiences, right? You need new people coming in to your website and having the opportunity to convert into your list. And so if you're doing extended email marketing, link building can be huge if you can continue to drive fresh search traffic to your site. And not only that, but as I said before, going out to new websites and trying to build new connections and new relationships and tapping into new audiences that are similar to your own, that could be huge for email marketing.
Absolutely. I think unless you have anything else you wanted to add, Nash, we'll move on to question number 3 here. How do you integrate link building into other online marketing campaigns? It's kind of the key. We've been talking about the benefits that you can have, but talk a little bit about how you actually do it. And I think you're probably the man to go to for this, Nash. You probably deal with this a bit in your day-to-day. So you kick us off here.
Yeah, every once in a while. No, I mean, the biggest key to this is communication. I harped on this a little bit before, but it's imperative that each section of your company, each section of your business knows what the others are doing. It's crucial that you're getting feedback not just from your marketing people or not just from your technical people, but also from more product-focused people about the concerns that they're hearing from customers, the customer service people for the day-to-day interaction that they're having with their customers, and then also making sure you include sort of the rest of the more traditional visibility type departments such as marketing and traditional SEO technical stuff on the website side. But yeah, I mean, a couple specific examples would be like Andrew mentioned earlier, PR campaigns and link building campaigns are really natural fits, and often the focus of a PR campaign maybe isn't specifically to drive links or drive traffic to your website. It's more to get the word out and be visible in front of lots of eyeballs. A link building campaign can leverage those exact same eyeballs and opportunities that a PR company has already sort of gone out and gotten, and provide additional value on that side. In a similar sense, things like customer outreach and branding through things like contests or scholarships or any kind of sort of transactional activity with your user base. Link building can aid that quite a bit as well, because the aim there is obviously to get it in front of as many eyes as possible, to showcase the things you're doing as a brand. Search visibility is something that links grant, and also having an asset like one of those things that I mentioned is a powerful tool for going out and actually having the ammunition to earn links that will actually matter and benefit not just that specific campaign, but your site as a whole.
Definitely. Kick that over to you, Cory. Something you want to add to that?
Sure. Yeah, I think communication is absolutely key, and even within communication, you need to do your research up front, and you need to be fairly aware of maybe what they're already marketing and communicate and really show the value of links, because how many people in the world know what link building is, right? It's not the most well-known topic in the world, and even other online marketers, while they're probably aware of what link building is, you need to approach them and communicate value up front and show them how this is going to help them as well as you, because it really is, it's a two-way street, as we just discussed. It's not how can you help me build links, but how are my links going to help your marketing campaign as well. And so if you can go in and establish value and build trust and really work together, that's the only way to integrate properly. Because if you're not getting buy-in from the other side, it's going to be an uphill battle.
Absolutely, and yes, you hit it on the head there, Cory. The best way to get buy-in is to make them look good.
That's true.
Everybody looks good. Everybody can work together. And I would just add that the key for us and in general is to get the SEO team, get your link builders involved early in the process. If you're getting ready to launch some content, craft some content, get your SEO involved in that early, because they're going to have a different perspective. It's going to help that campaign succeed in the long run.
Absolutely. If you can show specific examples too of how you'll build links or how you can integrate with them, I think that will help the conversation. The more information you can share and the more specifically you can communicate, the better, I think.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, often all you'll need, especially working with a content team or something like that, is a couple of very specific points in a piece that you'd be able to utilize in outreach or be able to fit into certain sort of opportunities as you go out and talk to people. So even having just a short, boilerplate list of what you think your outreach proposition will be, things like that, that helps content teams so much understand what it is that you need from an outreach perspective, and that can really be valuable. It doesn't take a ton of time, and can be the kind of thing that that really takes a piece of content from really nice to read to really be easily promotable, I guess.
Absolutely. Speaking from the content end myself, I know a lot of content people hear SEO and think, oh, I have to write the most ridiculous title no one wants to click on. But really, done well, SEO is much more about audience discovery and learning what kind of people will want to share and link to your content. And it really empowers your ability to go out and create content that has a chance of really gaining legs and getting traction and driving traffic, which is really the ultimate goal.
Yeah. Ultimately, your outreach teams and your link building teams can become, if not the basis, at least a large portion of the basis for what your future content looks like, because of the insight that they have into sort of the online presence of everyone involved in your niche and in your vertical, and they hear those pain points directly from the source a lot of the time. And so that can really help content teams inform, what questions they need to answer for their user base going forward.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely, and that's the type of content that's going to be successful.
Yeah, not just in link building terms, but also in building up that brand and becoming sort of that answer that people look to a lot of the time on the web if you keep at it for long enough and build up that stable of good informational content that's built upon the issues that your user base is facing.
Nothing's worse than investing a whole bunch of time and effort. And I know this personally, some of the worst posts that I've written, then spend all the time writing something and then it just falls flat and it doesn't resonate with the audience. So having that perspective from your outreach teams, from your link builders, from your SEOs, it's definitely helpful.
Yeah, honestly, I think that's what's allowed me to be successful within content marketing is my SEO background, because SEO is so strategy based, and that's what I love about SEO is you look for what people are actually searching for. As Andrew said, it's so easy because you have to care about what you're writing. You can't create something that someone else will care about unless you yourself care about it. I say this over and over again as we write about things, but within SEO, it's what do people care about and what do you care about, but what are people actually searching for? What do they need to know? And a good SEO background mixed with content strategy really helps you be strategic within what you're doing. I can't harp on that enough.
Definitely. Well, I think we've covered that one pretty well. Not anybody else got anything, Nash? I'll kick it back to Mike here.
All right. Well, we're going to push out another poll question here, and that is basically to offer anybody the opportunity to sign up with Page One Powered link building services. All new clients are going to qualify for $500 off their first month of services, and so this is an opportunity by being an attendee here at this webinar that you won't get anywhere else. We appreciate you being here and joining with us. And at this time, go back to the questions tab on your control panel and submit a question in. We're taking these questions from the audience. Tell us about what you're working on. Tell us about some of the challenges you're having, and so we can dig a little deeper and find out, what you're working on when it comes to SEO and your online marketing efforts. I'm going to go ahead and close the poll. We've got almost half of you have submitted. And 3, 2, 1. There we go. And move on to our first question. Here we go. Andrew, take it away.
All right. Got our first question from Jeff here. which is actually a good one because we kind of ended up talking a lot about content there. And he says, so you mentioned how content marketing can help link building, but are there any strategies to build links without content? This is a great question because I said myself that content is king, and content definitely does make link building easier, but it's definitely not impossible to build links without content. So I'm gonna have you switch it up and have you start this one, Cory, if that's all right.
Sure. Yeah, I like to say there are a thousand ways to build links online. So links are a way to cite something, cite a piece of information, a way to provide more information, a way to provide navigation. There's really a million reasons why people would link. And I'm actually going to do another shout out here too. If you've never seen Point Blank SEO, John Cooper has a great list of strategies to build links. I think if you just Google link building strategies, somewhere within those top results will be pointblankseo.com. And that just shows how many different ways there are to build links truly. If you can look at your site and say, what makes my site valuable? Why would people care about my website? Really, link building is just that strategic analysis of a website saying, why would someone link to this? And then going out and seeing if that audience exists and if they're having those conversations that you think they are that would lead to links. Because there are 1,000 ways to link online, and content is just one of them.
Yeah, I'd agree. It's definitely possible to build links without content. It becomes a little bit more difficult, and the biggest thing I would concentrate on in that event, if you have no content on your site, you're running maybe a purely product-driven or lead-gen-driven site with maybe just a little fluff around the actual conversion mechanism, is that you've got to focus a lot on your outreach and making sure that your value proposition is spot on, because without a piece of content to kind of butter up what you're doing, I guess, you need to be prepared to really make that hard value prop sell to your outreach target. And to do that, you have to understand who they are and what they find valuable, and not only that, what their audience would find valuable. Because ultimately, what you're doing when you're link building is asking a webmaster to give you a vote of confidence, basically. So you need to have the ammunition to get to that point. If you've got no content to offer them that's valuable to their audience, you better have a dang good reason why your product or service or site is the thing that their audience needs to see.
Absolutely, that's a great point, Nash. And I just jump in here that within like the local realm, there's a lot of things you can do without content. Maybe you're a smaller local business, you don't have the budget to invest in creating these big content initiatives, but just going out and regularly and actively engaging within your community can lead to a lot of links. If you got to keep that link first mindset, but go out, just offering, for instance, testimonials for companies that you regularly interact with, like say your janitorial company that cleans your building, like offer them a testimonial. That's a link right there. That's a legitimate link. The other things, sponsoring local events, charities, things like that. Just go out there and engage and offer value to your local community, and a lot of times you're going to see links from that.
Absolutely. Links really are about value. It's a way of citing value in some way. And so if you want someone to link back to you, you have to understand what's in it for them. What is the value? As Nash said, what's the value proposition? And one of the reasons content works so well and it's so frequently used within link building campaigns is that the content itself is the value. So it's not so hard to establish and build that value. But it's not 100% about content. You just need to make sure that you're not being manipulative, that there is value, and that there is a reason someone else would link. And if you, as Nash said, focus on outreach and say, here is the value for a link for your audience, here's why you should link, then those links will work. It's really just about establishing value and identifying why another webmaster would want to link to you.
Yeah, we often tell our teams over here that going and just asking for a link isn't really going to cut it. You have to go convince someone that your link belongs in the place that you'd like it. And so going out and just requesting isn't often enough. You really have to make those connections before you start outreach to say, this is exactly why what I have is valuable. This is why your readership or your site's users should find it valuable, and here's exactly what I think you're going to get out of including my link on your site.
Absolutely, and something that Cory has often said, and I've quoted him in my posts, is that in link building, it's not as much about tactic, it's more about application. And that goes back to that value again, where if that value is there, it's legitimately something that they should show their audience. It should be linked on their site. Then it's not going to be manipulative, regardless of the tactic. As long as the value is there, that's a legit link.
Absolutely. When you're building links the right way, when you're going out and trying to build links that matter, you have no control over whether that link goes live or not. It's literally 100% in the hands of that site owner. And we love to talk about tactics and tips and how to do things within link building, which is only natural because it's a very hard, link building is a hard endeavor. And the reality is the value has to be there for that site owner and for his audience, and there has to be a compelling reason for the link. And that's what we look to do within link building, is find those compelling angles and the compelling reasons and the value of your site. And whether that's content or not, there will always be some reason that another person should link to you. And if there's not, there's just nothing we can do about that other than build up the value of your own site, which is a hard endeavor.
Absolutely. Well, unless you got anything else to add to that, Nash, I think we'll move on to the next one here, all right? So this is another audience question, comes from Steve. He says, link building is so expensive relative to the known results. Too many businesses want results within a couple of months. So I think what Steve is asking us here is, how do you kind of, push back on that and kind of explain why link building is a long-term process. And I'm going to go to you on this again, Nash. Thank you, the expert here. So.
Sure. Yeah. There's no question that in order to be really successful in the vast majority of cases, link building is going to have to be a long-term endeavor, not just something that you throw a month of work at and then wipe your hands clean and say, hey, I'm done. But at the same time, there are ways to look at and value a campaign. When you start it. And some of those things revolve around being very critical of your efforts internally and making sure that internally you have, we call them KPIs over here, key performance indicators, to make sure that what we're doing on a day-to-day basis is the most efficient use of our time and is going to yield us the best results, and constantly pivot and change tactics if we're not where we feel like we should be. But at the end of the day, link building campaigns really are about value, and you have to establish what your goals are when you enter a link building campaign, what things you'd like to see improve. For some clients that come in, that's specific silos of keywords. For other clients, they're looking at overall upward trends in traffic or things like that. But in order to really be successful, I think, on a link building campaign, since it can be so nebulous, you have to establish internally what your goals are first, what you're trying to accomplish, and then set up signposts along the way to make sure that you're on your way to reaching that goal.
Absolutely. One point that I'd like to make within this is that link building really never ends. I mean, if you think about it, link building is marketing, and marketing doesn't end. If you stop marketing, you're probably going to have a bad time as a business. So, link building is part of that endless marketing cycle. And as you continue to, as we talk about other marketing strategies, if you continue to do content marketing or PR, that's just going to naturally generate more link opportunities. And if you're not out there trying to pick up those links, you're not going to get them. Do you have something to add to that, Cory?
Sure. Yeah, I like what Nash had to say, actually. I 100% believe you need a defined set of goals and to be very strategic in your approach to link building. I'm going to cite that study again of Moz's that found that if you want to be within search results, you have to have links. It's just the fact of the matter. If you're in competitive search, you need links. And so if search traffic is important to your site and you've identified that search traffic has high value for your site, and you know that you're doing the right things but you're not getting the results you want, often the missing piece is links. And so going out and strategically pursuing links can help you get that value you need. But at the end of the day, it's as Nash said, it's about identifying goals, making sure you're meeting KPIs, and that you're moving forward in the right direction, and understanding that it's a long-term investment. This doesn't happen overnight. Bright Edge did a study in 2014, and they found that 51% of traffic to the websites they were monitoring was coming from search. I mean, search is just such a huge channel online. Think about how the common person every day uses search. You want to find something online, you search it, right? And so if search is huge for your business, if it can make a lasting business value impact for your company, then you just have to invest in links to a degree. If the channel is important to you, you're going to need links in some regard.
Yeah, I think that it's also important to remember, just like we were talking about sort of link building campaigns integrating with different departments in your organization, links are an extremely important piece, but also just one piece in the overall SEO picture. And so links are not a silver bullet. They're going to cure all of your ills, but at the same time, when they're utilized properly and when they're brought in from high authority sites and are doing what they should be, and you've got the rest of your SEO on point, the results can be quite impressive.
Absolutely.
Go ahead, Cory.
I was just going to say it's funny, but the more you invest in online marketing, probably the more you should be thinking about links, just because of everything we've talked about here. That if you're already making that investment into other marketing online, there's a high likelihood that you have higher link potential, higher link opportunity, and that search will be important to those other online marketing campaigns. And so if you're already investing into that, you should be thinking about links strategically in some way. Now, whether that means hiring a link builder or hiring a link building service or whatever that means, if you have people on your site who are designated as SEOs, links should be part of their KPI, in my opinion. Search is just too important.
Absolutely, and just a final point here, going back to Steve's question about the relative to the known results. There are some known results that you can see, and we've seen in some of our campaigns. You can go to our site. We've got like 4 case studies up there from various niches: education, B2B, e-commerce, and finance. And those case studies pretty clearly demonstrate how successful a link campaign can be when done right. So I encourage you all to go check that out. But I think unless anybody else has anything to add, I'm going to move on to another audience question here, and this is an interesting one from Marcus. It says, I've been approached by companies that offer me links from Forbes, Huffington Post, and Examiner. I simply have to pay them. How does that work? So paid links. It's all not jump at the opportunity.
Well, what happens there? So they have an embedded writer in some regard on those sites. At least that would be my suspicion when I hear, okay, they're on Forbes and they're on Huffington Post and Examiner. That means they've managed to embed a writer on those sites, and they're probably cloaking the fact that they're in SEO. And so they're kind of like, hey, if you want to pay me, I will get you links on these sites, which can work, but you need to know that you're going down a little bit of a rabbit hole. What do you think of that, Nash?
Yeah, I mean, I'd agree. It's clear that there's a pre-existing relationship, and there are plenty of writers on the web who figured out that there are people out there willing to PayPal them over a couple grand in order to insert a link into a post on a high authority site. And yeah, you are sort of getting into a little bit shady, I guess, exchange if you are going to do that. And another good thing to think about when looking at interacting with a writer like that or doing something like that is that links from sites like Forbes and Huffington Post and Examiner and things are important, and they can be really powerful. But a natural link profile that is healthy and shows all the signs that Google would like to see out of it, in a lot of ways includes links from all over the spectrum, not just from your Huffington Post and your Forbes articles. So if you're sitting on a new site and you think that the answer is to spend a ton of money and build 15 links across those 3 domains, that's not a natural looking link profile, and sooner or later I think that Google is going to sniff that out and determine that a natural site wouldn't accrue links in that manner.
Yeah, I would echo that. And another thing to think about too is so you're paying for what you know are going to be specifically powerful links, but that's it. Within a campaign, you're not getting a custom campaign. It's not marketing like link building probably should be, where you're strategically going out and finding as many opportunities as possible and really trying to build relationships and develop audience and all of those good things that happen within a link campaign. So yeah, there might be value within a few links from a few big name sites like that, but it's certainly not a custom campaign, and you're getting kind of a shoehorn solution that's piggybacked off of authority instead of relevance and what you want real links to look like and what they are.
Yeah, I'd agree. I don't think it's bad to do it maybe once or twice if you're looking for a couple really, we call them white whale type links that are clearly, a little bit less natural, but I would also not expect that those are going to be the cure-all to everything that you're looking to accomplish with your site.
Yeah, and just to piggyback on Cory's point there with relevance, I mean, you pay all this money for these links, and then is your audience even on those sites? Like, I know those are big sites, but they're not relevant to your business at all, or the articles that they're putting those in aren't relevant to your business at all. I mean, if you're just going at it for just purely SEO value, that's not the right way to do it, in my opinion.
Yeah, and one thing to think about too is that yes, Google will see those links and they'll probably be like, wow, high authority, those are good, but the reality is that Google, if we've learned one thing within search engine optimization, I hope that it's that Google is getting better and Google is moving in the direction they want to move. And it's slow because they have to do it algorithmically because the web is so vast and they can't have a human solution. They can't have a human going out and looking at a link and saying, yeah, that's a real link, that's natural. So yes, these will be high authority links, but will they be the links you want in the long term? Is this a sustainable practice? And yeah, like Nash said, maybe 1 or 2 wouldn't be bad. It might be a couple really good links, but it's not a long-term sustainable solution it's not going to be a magic cure-all for your site by any means.
Absolutely. I think we covered that one pretty well. Got one more audience question here from Jeff, and this is kind of about in the guest blogging realm again. So what do you think about guest blogs if you actually provide some good content on the guest blog? I know what Cutts has said, but what do you think?
I'll tackle this
Go
one.
ahead.
So yeah, I mean, I think the most important thing to think about when you are going out and trying to engage in a guest blogging quote unquote campaign is to keep 2 things in mind. One, and probably the most important thing, is that the sites that you should be going after in order to guest blog need to be real websites. They need to be sites that exist for a purpose other than to host your guest blogged content. And they need to have a person behind them who is going to look at and vet your article to determine whether or not it's something that's valuable for their readers. The other thing you have to think about is making sure that when you do link within a guest blogged article, that you do so naturally and that you do so in a way that makes sense for a reader and really follows all the hallmarks of a good link. It's in there contextually, it makes sense, it takes them to a place when they click on it that they'd expect to go. But if you follow those 2 things, which is definitely easier said than done a lot of the time, it can be a really good tactic because that's a way to add value to your pitch. When you go out and target sites, providing them with good content that makes sense for their readers, that the readers are going to enjoy and actually look at and read and take in. That's a good way to add value to a pitch when you come out to try to go build links.
Absolutely.
I would
add anything, Cory?
Yeah, I would echo all of that. That was all very spot on in my opinion, what Nash had to say. We do guest blogging, if you want to call it that, for Page One Power even, and that's kind of part of our content marketing strategy as we go out and publish on these third-party websites. And if I have an opportunity to get a link, I absolutely will get that link. And I think even within a link building campaign, guest posting and guest blogging does have value. I don't believe that there is any absolute answer to this. The question that you need to ask yourself is, are you adding value to the web? Are you building natural links that make sense? Are they adding value? Are the links themselves adding value to the web, not just the content? You know, is the audience going to be happy there? Do you share that audience? Is there audience overlap? I mean, is this all you're doing? I think that within SEO, it's the biggest question that we always need to be asking ourselves is this manipulative? And it's so easy to try and hedge that bet, but you know when you're being manipulative, right? And if you're going out and building real links, the answer will be no. And I think that guest blogging can be very much a part of a very natural link building and good link building campaign, and I think it can be absolutely manipulative, and it kind of circles back to its application, not tactic. It's not what you're doing, it's how you're doing it. And if you're doing it the right way, you're going to be building links that move the needle. If you're doing it the wrong way, you might just find yourself in a penalty. So it's about application, not tactic.
Absolutely. For me, it boils down to, when you build a link, is it in a spot where there's going to be someone who actually wants to click on it? And then B, when they do click on it and they're taken to your site, are they going to be happy? Are they going to be satisfied? Is that what they're looking for? And that, it doesn't get more natural than that. So.
Yeah. Be mindful and think before you do it, and as long as you keep those things in mind and you know exactly what you're doing and why you're doing it, at the very least you'll be able to catch yourself before you do something that's manipulative. So just keep the brain on when you do it.
Absolutely. One thing that I like to always talk about when people ask about, well, is this tactic bad? Is this tactic right? Think about the application, and one thing that I always did myself when I was dealing with clients was I called it the gut check, where I would think, would I show this link to a colleague? Would I be happy to show it to a colleague? Would I show it to the CEO of our company, John Ball? Would I be happy to share this link with our CEO? Would he be happy that we built this link? And then, of course, finally, would I share this link with the client happily? Would I, in a short email, say, hey, look at this link we just built? If I'm happy to do all those things, that's a good link. If I'm hesitant on any of those, maybe it's getting hesitant whether we're building the links we need to build. So it's really, when you're building the good links. And so just stick to your gut and be intelligent about what you're doing, and you'll be okay.
Definitely. Thank you, Cory. And got time for one more question here. This one comes from Sarah. She says, are there any tools you would recommend to help promote integration or collaboration? And I think we could apply this to both inter-departments or different strategies, as well as just within a link building team. And I think within link building teams, maybe we could go to you first, Nash.
Sure. Yeah.
Some of the things you guys do.
Yeah. We utilize, at least on our end, we'll give a little plug here, I guess, but on our side, we utilize BuzzStream to manage all of our outreach campaigns and everything like that. And that is a really effective way for every member of our team to have eyes on exactly what's going on within all of our different projects, and even within the outreach for particular sites that might cross over between projects, things like that. It's a really effective tool. We're really happy with it over here. A couple other things that we use to help out with that are chat systems and things like that. Slack is the one that we use internally. basically project management tools, anything that you can utilize to organize yourself maybe a little bit better with equal visibility throughout the team is really effective, because the last thing you want is crossover outreach or people doing the same thing twice. Basically, those are the things that can really kill momentum with even particular targets, but on a larger scale as well.
Absolutely. One thing that I would throw out there, because it's free, which is always nice, is Google Docs are always awesome for multiple people to be working out of. Everybody stay on the same page. Google has a whole bunch of great free tools, but particularly for collaboration, that Google Docs are a nice solution.
Absolutely. Any tool that improves your ability to be transparent, I think is key here, especially within integration. Any tool that aids communication and improves transparency is a tool you should consider. We're entering the era of online tools, right? I mean, SaaS startups are left and right, front and center. Everywhere you go, software as a service is huge right now, and Slack was one mentioned, Bootcamp is another. We use BuzzStream. There's a million different tools that you can use. What you want to use really needs to be custom fitted to you and what works best for you as a business and how you're integrating with your clients and what you already have established. But basically, any tool that can improve your ability to communicate and your ability to be transparent, I think, is what you need in order to integrate well.
Absolutely. Well, I think just about wrapped it up.
We'll call it good on that note. Appreciate you spending some time with us, Cory, and just want to say thank you to our attendees for hanging on with us for the late start, as well as those who submitted questions. We appreciate that input, and any other questions that were not able to be answered during this hour, we'll reach out to you directly, and then look for that recording going live tomorrow on our YouTube channel. And anybody that was not able to attend, our team will also email a link out to everybody so you can watch that at your convenience. But thank you all for being here. In Boise, Idaho, it's time for lunch. So we'll sign off here. Have a good day, Cory, and we'll see you next time on the Flippity Flop.
Thanks, Mike. It was a pleasure.
All right. See you later.